Welcome to Miss Martin Muses. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses, where we muse upon what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. Well, today we're talking about something that makes me very happy. After something that really ticked me off happened, I was stuck in a big ol' ass airport for about several hours. My plane was delayed, and I didn't get out until about 12:50 in the morning and didn't get home, and I just kind of woke up, and then I forgot that I'd unplugged everything because of apparently your house can burn down, and I don't want to, so I had precaution, so I was plugging everything in. But I am so happy to be here, once again, and pretty much awake. But if my brain sounds like mush, I'm just going to blame it on Rennie or Stieg or both.
Well, thank you so much. That's very kind of you.
You're welcome. But yeah, the truth is, and I'm a little stuffed up too, because I'll tell you what, I don't know what they have over there in Florida, but holy moly, my allergies were not happy with it. But speaking of Rennie, it's Rennie.
Speaking of
She's
allergies,
back.
it's Rennie.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, speaking of allergies, at least I didn't say speaking of antibiotics. But yes, it's Rennie. She's
morning.
back. We're back.
How are you guys this morning, and how is everybody out there listening? That good,
Hoping everyone's okay.
Well, I'm not going to say
Okay,
anything because it's my turn later.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
big
true.
ass cup of coffee. I know I'm supposed to say something. I'm being a bad host, but no, it's great to be back. I'm doing great. I'm awake. My coffee is just a little bit across the room, so I'm going to be getting that in just a second. How are things in your side of Texas?
Pretty good. It's pretty chilly this morning. I woke up and it was like 34 degrees outside. So this is my kind of weather. As long as it's not icy out on the roads, then I'm happy. So I love the cold. So I very much or very well thrive in the cold. So I'm enjoying it so far. Doing pretty well.
Huh. Well, cool. It's cool here, but it's like going to be 60 degrees. So I guess that's not too
horrible.
Yeah, I know. And speaking of our official cold correspondent from the future in a very high latitude, it is the Viking.
I'm actually just a few feet above the ocean level, so.
Latitude, Steve?
Yeah. I know. I fucked up.
Oh, okay.
I was like, hold on a minute. Am I like crazy or does that not sound right? Okay.
Yeah.
I was eating candy. Well, you said it, so I'll just say something.
It's okay. Poor Steve, he's outnumbered. He's got 2 women to correct him, not just one today.
Oh, yeah. And then, yeah. And Maura and Alora usually too.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, how do you do?
Well, how do you do? How's Papa? Getting ready for coronation.
I don't know. But
He doesn't talk to you?
No.
I was hoping that once he disowned Harry, that he'd take you on and make you his official spare.
No.
Okay.
Well, that's not cool.
I'm not
cool at all.
Welcome at the chateau.
Well, now you can do a multi-million-dollar book, and then you can have all the candy
basically,
you want.
I got ostracized when it became clear that I was against incest.
You're not into cousin humping?
No. I know a lot of people like cussing when they're humping, though, but no.
Hey,
yeah, it's true. I swear.
Oh no, I'm not gonna. Really I'm actually not. I'm not gonna contradict you. But how's
also
the future,
it's windy as shit outside and it's pissing down, and I had to go out in it.
Oh,
so
well,
I'm not a happy chappy today.
Oh no!
I'm usually quite rosy,
Someone get him some Earl Grey. Stat.
Yeah, fast.
Yeah.
and a pipe and a smoking jacket to make you feel better.
Yeah.
Well, I told you.
And 3 elven hookers.
Wow. You heard it here first. Well, I
Someone
told you
needs
that you
do
need
the
to get
dishes.
Oh.
I told you you need to buy some ice skates and just ice skate around.
Because no, there's no ice outside, so that would be a bad idea.
Oh, okay. So that was like last.
Yeah, you'd get like 2 inches of movements and then you fall.
Oh, well, that'd be kind of cool. I digress. Okay, warning. This is a Teresa didn't sleep a lot stream that we got going on. Though I do have my little tricks from the different airports. When I do more traveling things, I'll show you some of the tips. So how you can survive on a long layover like that. But Steve, you haven't given us an official report from the future.
Well, someone named Eliza is a bitch, apparently. And
well, isn't
what
that
else?
typically the case?
There's a show called Wilma.
Grandma?
No, it's Scooby-Doo thing.
Oh, Velma.
Well, yeah. Apparently she's the writer of that one is retarded.
Oh, well.
But they published it anyway, which makes HBO more retarded. And yeah, Meghan Markle's still a bitch. Harry is taking it up the rear. And
wait, I thought it was William that liked that.
No, they started the rumor.
So that's what's going on today. And if you don't look at that stuff, you might have fun watching movies. Oh, I watched Glory for the first time yesterday.
Yes.
With like Matthew Broderick, the old.
Yeah. The highlight was seeing him get shot repeatedly. He was filled with glory holes.
Well, I told you could look up the history a long time ago and you would know what ended up happening to him, but I still didn't want to spoil that moment for you.
Yeah, I grinned. I smirked.
Yeah, that movie is a great movie. It is, in my humble opinion, the best Civil War movie individually. It was completely
I don't know.
authentic.
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, though.
Oh, you know what, though? That's a good book, to be honest. I actually liked it, and the movie was halfway decent. I'm sorry. I actually kind of like the movie, so I read the book, and the book is far better. Actually, it's like a Pride and Prejudice with zombies, except for it's Abraham Lincoln being a vampire hunter. I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, you know, Pride and Prejudice and Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, the book was much better too.
I believe that.
Yeah. Well, in that case, they just took literally the text and just threw in zombies. But you know, you get the best news.
You know what would be fun? A Halloween crossover with Downton Abbey. Having Michael Myers stalk Downton Abbey and kill each and every one of them one by one.
You heard it here first, Steve. Do it.
Well, I'm not going to kill anyone at Downton Abbey.
No, write the book.
No.
Okay, fine. I'll write it, and I won't give you any credit either. I was going to say something really intelligent, but since my brain cells aren't working, oh, for fuck's sake!
Oh, very intelligent, Teresa.
Okay, the first F-bomb of the day. I got used to not being around animals. My one of them was running for my eggs, so I stopped her. But it was something really, really. Oh, it was about Glory. Yes, if you haven't seen Glory, do it. And I might just do a separate video about it because it is that good a movie. I saw it. I don't know how many times in the cinema. Denzel Washington was amazing, and they weren't afraid to make it racist as all get out, because it was from the north, and they did not shy away from the fact of what it really was like there, because sometimes they'll do the whole angels from the north. Like, no, they were all racist and brutal, and the whippings, all that stuff. It was really good. And as Steve said, spoiler alert, you're gonna see Matthew Broderick get hit with a lot of lead, but the man, Robert Shaw, is an American hero. He is, so may he rest in peace. So his fault.
Or in this case, pieces.
Oh dear. Well, and on that happy note, let's talk to our chat. I think I've already been highlighting them, but Prophet of the Dragon popped in. Well, hello. He's hoping we have a great discussion. Well, so far I think we've been okay. We've talked about glory holes, incest, and some more heroes, or as I call it, a Saturday morning. In cousin humping. Oh wait, that is incest. Sorry. And then yes, Jacob Ironside. Hello, Jacob. Yes, hello, chat. And look, it is Mr. Rennie. Hello, Tyrone Lethbridge. Actually, that sounds like a snotty British name.
It kind of does.
Yeah. He's really having tea right now with Steek. Jacob Ironside changed his Wi-Fi. Changed his Wi-Fi password to beef stew, but the community told me it wasn't stroganoff. Oh, for fuck.
You should flip them to stroganoff beef.
What's a pun?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh,
like
okay.
He's jacking off.
Oh no. Well, why do you do this to me?
Because you didn't understand it, so I had to explain the pun.
Actually,
I did nothing wrong.
Actually, that's fair. I did literally ask him.
You ruined the climax of that joke.
Oh! Well, Father Miller is no longer on a bus with 5,000 teenagers. My biggest nightmare I've ever heard of in my life. So, Matt G's bringing the bacon. Thank you. I need bacon, especially after last night.
Why did you transition from stroking off to a priest on a bus with teenagers? That's a weird leap.
Oh no.
Don't even. Hey, I've got a bunch of Catholic splaining coming up, so do stay tuned, everyone, especially because we apparently have our first whistleblower pope. It's amazing because Pope Benedict published some posthumous writings, and it's amazing. It's fun, so that's going to be fun. Deplatformed, yeah, well, hopefully I won't be killed by, some sort of mafia. That glory hole joke was always coming.
Oh no!
Hey, that's your husband.
He spelled it the other way, so that's good.
Thanks for the tip. We got the point.
All right. Hey everyone. Hi, America's ass. Yeah, we don't have to behave on this one the way we had to behave on Jacob's.
The stroking off pun made the audience erupt.
Oh. Okay. Oh, okay. Glory is a Jacob says Glory is a gut-wrenching movement. Very good. Yes. That's I did ask. I mean, Seek did nothing wrong. Hashtag. All right. Well, the good news is none of that made everyone run for their lives. We still have viewers. Yay! Thank you for everyone that is here. I'm really excited about this because I'm eating my words. I felt I would. I'm loving this book.
So you're eating your words while swallowing your pride.
That's right.
That was a good line. I'm happy with that one. Wouldn't you say that was a good line, Rennie?
It was, but still.
Yeah, I really, really, really like this. And okay, and I'll be back. Oh, wait.
Are you like the Terminator?
Oh, it's my coffee machine. It's going crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't Rennie. It was the coffee machine.
Shut up.
Give me a second.
So how are you doing, Rennie?
I am doing pretty well, and like Teresa said, I am loving this book. And I remember, I'm pretty sure this isn't a big secret because of the last stream that we had, but I remember reaching out originally. I'm like, oh my god, I love this book, and Teresa's like, yeah, I'm not really loving
Believe
it.
it or
And
not,
now
it was
hearing
erupting.
that's not good.
It was erupting. After all,
Was-
it wanted to get in with
Was
the
there
jokes.
spillage at the coffee machine?
Actually, there was spillage. It was starting to overflow, so I took a really big cup and put it underneath. Hello, Luffy is God. Incest whacking off best book review on YouTube.
Yeah, we cover everything.
We let it fly. You know what? That is the comment of the day. Yes, and I'm sorry. When I popped back in, I think I actually you all could have been talking about anything, but I missed it. I love these books. I officially so far am liking it better than the first and the second. Definitely
Same
better than the
here.
second.
Well, I was just saying that, like it's no secret last week, you were not very gung-ho on this book and you were like, I'm not really liking it. And then hearing you say that you love it, just like I said last week, that was great to hear. So I really appreciated, hearing this change of heart because, it's as of chapter 7 for me, it started getting really good.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And you all were saying we stopped at the wrong place. That it's like if we'd gone one more chapter, I would have been singing a different tune last week.
Yeah, I think I think Rennie and I said the same thing, that we paused right before a very good chapter.
Before
Yes.
it started getting good. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I'm very happy. So I've been enjoying it. It's officially for me gone into page turner territory, which is always exciting for a first time read. So I'm very, very pleased. We'll see. The ending may suck. I don't think the ending will suck. If there is something about Brooks so far, he does a good job of setting up how it's going to end. Because even the Amberley thing, you kind of saw it coming a mile away, and you saw how he was setting up Eritrea and Will. It was just clear. Everything was all clear. So that's my way of saying, Stieg, that what's her name, Bryn and Roan will get married, have lots of children, and live happily ever after. Or I'm going to have some strong words. So there.
Okay.
Oh, wait, we're not at chapter 6. I don't know. Oh, you can't say anything, can you?
No.
That's what I thought.
And I
you
know
have
I'm
that...
making both of I know I'm making both of you nervous now.
Oh, darn it. May you be accursed. Oh, all right. So we're going to start with chapter 7, which turns out to be the introduction of an amazing character, and we'll definitely get into that in a second. It was so well crafted and so cool the way it went down. You have Jer, who is fast becoming one of my favorite Terry Brooks characters, if not already. He is being captivated in the wrong kind of a way with the gnomes, and that one guy, oh my gosh, what a douchebag. Spilker, whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah.
What's his name? Spilk. Okay, I got him. Yeah, he is a douche, and they're being really awful, of course. While meanwhile, Slanter, he is being kind of nice to him. He's like, oh, you don't belong with them and all that. And he's like, boy, you don't know anything about me. Nothing. So don't be telling me who I'm like and who I belong with. Just look after yourself. And then Jer gave 0 Fs and said, again, you're not like them. Then finally said, maybe. But I know enough not to cut against the grain. And this goes back to what he had been saying in the last chapters. Like, how dumb are you? Do you want to die? And then something amazing happens, and I want him to be my new boyfriend. This
Splanter?
I was like,
No!
are you talking about Splanter or the new character?
I said then something amazing happens. Okay, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting that you all can't read my psychic thing. But the hint was something amazing. This dude, this stranger is there, and
Well,
he is
basically, they stop for water,
Mhm,
and the water hole is, there's someone there.
mhm. And he's hot and he's serious, and he knows there's something up with Jer. And he's like, what's up with the human? And they're all like, nothing. Like when one of Stieg's NPCs rolls a 1, it's supposed to be a bluff, so they do a really lame bluff. And then out of the blue, this dude just goes like assault weapon or something. He's spinning around, he's killing them all and twirling and just being so badass. And when before he went badass, you saw that Slanter kind of recognized him. And at first I thought maybe they knew each other before, but we're going to learn it's not. Then
He
finally,
actually he killed 8 and knocked out number 9.
yeah, he knocked out the douche. It was badass. A glint of metal appeared. Yeah.
It was pretty awesome. You're like, I don't know about you guys, but did you get kind of like they were making him sound kind of similar to Al-Anon because he was like, a dark figure and very tall. And I think they even say he's almost or no, that's somebody else. But I think they were saying he was pretty tall and all this. And it's like, he sounds very mysterious. Is this like an
No,
Al-Anon type
he
guy?
was not very tall.
I thought he was.
He just seems tall because he has a staff.
Well, and
Yeah.
plus compared to the gnomes, I guess, maybe.
Do you guys want a spoiler that you're not going to find out in this book? It's from a side story, like one of the short stories. It's not a big spoiler, but it's a cool throwback.
Okay. I'm cool with that. And anyone in the chat, go ahead and hide your ears if you don't want to.
Well, Garrett Jax was trained by Steve Jans.
Explains why he's awesome.
Oh, I'm fangirling. And yes, as Jacob says,
there's a short story about it which I sent you guys.
That's what that's about. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you need to read them. They're important.
I know, but you also said that we would need to read some of them after the third one, and now this makes sense.
Yeah.
And as Jacob says, Garrett Jax, the weapons master. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, the guy's just a fighting machine.
He's a
Yeah.
beast.
Yeah,
He's a
and
butt-kicking
you've seen nothing yet.
Oh, nice. And then I just love the line that Slanter says, "Looks like you've got the luck this day, boy. You've just been rescued by Garrett Jax."
That was such a cool line. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I was going to say, Riddy, I'm giving you permission to fangirl.
Yeah, I was like totally down. Because at first, like I said, this guy was, Garrett seemed like a very mysterious person. It's like, well, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? I don't know. So I was excited because I was like, oh, please tell me he's going to save this poor kid because, he doesn't deserve his lot. And, the fact that he came through was really awesome.
Yeah.
So I like him.
Yeah. Well, and I expected him to, you could see where it was leading with the rescue, but I was not expecting him to be like John Wick or something. It was great.
It was pretty great.
Yeah, good times. So anything else before we move on, Stieg?
Not really. Picture in the group chat though.
Oh yes.
Thank you. Because I was gonna say, because sometimes I know since you have the big picture, you can guide me towards like, oh, you might want to mention this. This is the one from the book. I believe.
It's from the I think it's called the World of Shannara because there's a lore book.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Basically, it spoils all the books up to a certain point, up
okay.
until release, really. But yeah, there's
Okay.
stuff about characters in there, and
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, you've shown this to me. I was thinking of the other one, but that's also a good one too. Yeah, here he is, and the one in the
reminds me a
book.
bit of Spike from Buffy.
Oh yeah.
I can see that. That makes sense.
Oh boy. Yeah, I love this man. Though, in the book one where he's by the stream and looking mysterious with his hood on, he's a little sexier, but that's okay.
Oh, I
It's,
have that picture too.
oh, okay. Because mysterious. But yeah, this is badass. And you can tell looking at this picture, you don't want to mess with this dude's sword. Let me see. Oh, Luffy is God says, I'm going to get that haircut. Jacob says, Stig didn't send me the short story. Well, I'm sure if you asked nicely, you would. Yeah, Stig's got everything. He's like the guy on James Bond. What is it, Q?
Yes.
You
No,
just go.
Instead of weapons master, he's literature master.
which would make me a librarian, wouldn't it?
Hey, there's nothing wrong. Hey, Belle was all in. Belle was all in the books. There's nothing wrong with being a Disney princess. Actually, let me rephrase
Yes,
that.
in my case, it would be. Yes, I'm not a Disney princess. I do not wish to be a Disney princess.
I'm like, maybe you haven't tried hard enough to be a princess?
Yeah, I literally have not tried.
Quote of 2023 from
This
Steve there.
picture, though, is not accurate because in the book, he did not have swords on his back, nor was he wearing a mask.
Oh, you mean all the things that I thought made him hot?
Yeah, because he had a staff. And when he pulled the short sword, it was inside his cloak.
Yeah. Well, it does show the staff though on the bottom, like on the bottom of the stack.
Yeah.
Of weapons, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Everyone's looking
And
closely.
the gnomes in the picture look like dwarves.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They do kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, dag nabbit, you'd think that they'd get at least that part better. For crying out loud. But we can deal. He still, look mysterious. Because I'm petty that way. Oh, look, he did. I did say to ask politely, so he's using your proper Lord Steve.
Yeah, I'll look into it after the stream.
Yeah.
I have all the short stories.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a bundle of joy and generosity.
All right, let me see. We're on chapter 8 now, right?
I even sent Teresa tea that didn't have burgers and Snickers bars in it.
I know.
Are you saying she likes her tea a little extra fancy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I must admit that the tea was really good.
Well, that's good.
Well, y'all got to have tea or coffee because y'all will freeze to death. Especially if you're too proud to look like, or rather to use a hot water bottle. Have you seen what gnomes look like in the Shannara Chronicles?
Oh, yeah, the show?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Looked like a beardy mongoloid with goggles.
Damn. That's not okay.
That doesn't sound appealing.
Who's drawing
Yeah.
something?
Not me.
That's my coffee thing.
Oh, is that your coffee machine?
Yeah, it's having a nervous breakdown. I'm going to unplug it.
Imagine if it just went, goes boom.
I hope not.
Yeah. And she goes, "Oh my gosh,
I would like
There's
die without my coffee.
there's hamburgers everywhere." So you liked Garrett Jacks, did you?
Yeah, I liked him very much.
Well, there's a lot of Garrett Jacks in this book.
Like I said, chapter 7 was a turning point for me, so definitely was like, okay, this guy's pretty cool.
Yeah, and there's probably 6 or 7 more characters to be introduced as well.
Oh, well, that's cool.
And some callbacks from the previous book.
Yay! Oops. Okay, here we go. We're going to go on to chapter 8, and hopefully, if you hear a loud explosion, you'll know what happened here at my home. Shady, even in the tiny Southland village like Shady Vale, they had heard of Garrett Jacks. So I like the way that himself started fangirling Jer about him. It's like, you're this, you do this, you do that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And Slanter knew him 5 years ago when he was training Legion soldiers in Varfleet. I was tracking for the Legion then. They call him assassinary, a mercenary, or assassin, an assassinary. Yes, a mercenary with no loyalties. Genie Mac. I should have warned that my brain cells are not quite what they should be today. I'm going to take a nap today. He had no compassion. Garrett Jacks always traveled alone. No friends either. Too dangerous. Too hard for that. Those are all the rumors. So why did he help Jer? Then he goes, this one's still alive. Thick skull, said Garrett Jacks. I thought that was awesome. Yeah. And then meanwhile, much to the Veilman's surprise, he been told what Jer had done to him to escape. Oh yeah, that's the thing. He spills the beans right away. This like kid's like some weirdo magic person thing. And he decided better they both and then that they had told a white lie. Better that they both thought his father was in Alanmon's company with the Elfstones, at least until Jer knew whom he could trust. So he told some white lies as well about that. And it just reminded me, it's like, oh yeah, because he's got the Elfstones and people might want to F around with him. So, oh, your husband's giving me a bad Tyron? For really? I want to be assassinary.
Well, he already is sassy, so he's there.
Well done. Well done. Okay, so not completely making fun of me.
Nah, he's being silly.
Yeah. So in any case, Jer, they tie up the douchebag chief guy, and Jer comes along with Garrett, but Slanter's like, I'm done here, so goodbye. But then he's like, he's begging. He starts begging, you're a tracker, Slanter. Come on, you can get us past the walker. And then he goes,
Yeah, because there's a Mord Wraith nearby.
Oh,
that's where they were taking Jer.
Yes.
Oh, you're right, because they wanted to F around with the medicine or the magic. And then he goes, Slanter, if you do this, I'll show you a little of how the magic worked. And then he's like, damn it, how are you trying to? And so he says, I'll come, but not for a bribe. I'll come just because I want to. It's my idea. Understand? And then suddenly we have a company. We have a trio.
2 trios, really.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. You have two fellowships or 2 groups of people.
I was excited. I thought it was great. Though currently I still like this one better because what is it? A weapons master, a magic user, and a gnome, go into a bar. It's good stuff. Go on a quest, rather. And he even calls them the little company. Meanwhile, Spilk the douche is sitting there being douchey. And then the Mordray shows up. And he's like, Master. He went cold to the bone. And holy crud. He like reaches out.
So they tied him up and left him for bait for the master. So he was master bait.
Oh no! Don't do that to me. And something worse than that's waiting for him. He's like, I tried, Master. I tried. Please, please. And he had every right to be that frightened because he goes. The black glove hand reaches down to fasten on the gnome's head, and red fire exploded forth. Spilk shrieked a single terrible cry, and his lifeless form lay slumped within its bound, its eyes open and staring. So he basically melted his brain.
Yeah, and it's interesting that the Mord Wraiths, which used to be cultists of Brona, the Warlock Lord, they use red fire, while Alanon and the Druids use blue.
Like the evil is red and the good is blue.
Like Star Wars, the lightsabers.
Yep. That's right.
Huh. Yes. And I was reading the private message too. Okay, cool. So before we move on, Rennie, anything else you want to say about chapter 8?
No, I actually really like chapter 8 because, you think that Spilk is going to, be able to run off and do more bad things. And it's like, yeah, nope, cut off, bye. So I liked it. And like I was telling you guys last week, I really think this book starts getting good at chapter 7. So each chapter for me is more and more enjoyable thus far.
Yay. Cool. I know. It got fun. And it was one of those things where I'm doing some work for my parents, and I'm sitting there reading, and Mom's like, hey, and I'm like, damn it. And then I have to wait to read the next chapter. It's so much fun.
It's like, Mom, it was just getting good.
Yeah. Oh, and I've got a true story about that, but I'll tell you later.
But Mom.
Yeah, suddenly I'm back to being 11 again. It's like, I'm not going to turn out the lights. I want to read.
Let me do my thing. Let me be myself.
Well, it doesn't matter how old you get. When you get around your parents, you revert back to everything.
I'll do twice the homework in 30 minutes.
Yeah, something a little bit like that, yes. Okay, and Steve, anything else?
No, it's just a cool chapter.
Yes, I really liked it. Let's go to chapter 9. Very similar to Elfstones of Shannara. These are short chapters, not as short as Elfstones, but so we do go through these a lot quicker. So in chapter 9, we are. Meanwhile, they do one of those. Meanwhile, across the towering jagged ridge of the dragon's teeth, the night had gone from deepest blue to gray. We are with Alanon, Roan, and Bryn. They are at the Valley of Shade. This is where they're gonna go and speak to his dad's thing. The same one that gave the prophecy before from book 1.
Yeah, Bremen.
Yes, I keep wanting to call him Brennan. I don't know why.
Yeah, or unfortunately, isn't there like the Bremen? Wasn't the Pied Piper of Bremen or Brennan? So I just always want to imagine like a dude with a flute prancing around.
Yeah, no, he doesn't have a flute.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying I imagine. Wait, the Pied Piper. Well, never mind. Yeah, I digress. But yes, but before we move on to the action, there was such a good quote. This would be my quote of the day that Al-Anon says. Trust was something to be earned, not blindly given. And to earn it, one must first be open and honest. So, yay for a good quote. But then Al-Anon says to himself, but he could never be that. And I'm like, yes, vindicated, vindicated. Al-Anon. So he's very self-aware, and in doing so, so is Terry Brooks. Hello, it's Black Pill Timon Flip. Hello, he's gonna come with me to meet the aliens, and hopefully they'll take us away. See, and he says the truth could not be told, but must be learned. And if there's a theme also in these three books, at least the way Al-Anon behaves, it's that he can't tell. There's some truth and there's some wisdom in that. So well done, Al-Anon. You kind of almost slightly made me almost like you again, but we'll get there. I mean,
So
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Teresa.
No.
I feel like you and I are kind of alike when it comes to Al-Anon, because he's one of these characters. Yes, he's not evil, but he's not as likable, I think, as Terry Brooks wants him to be. You know what I mean? Because he's always like, he's very abrasive with everybody. He's like, just do what I say. It's like, okay, well, I mean, that's cool and all, but, you know, I mean, at least Gandalf was a little bit, you know, a little bit more of a likable guide. But, you know, I do think that also is a good thing, to not always have all of the good guys be likable. So I'm very torn on Al-Anon's character.
You guys tend to flip every second stream when it comes to liking him or not.
Well, because he is bipolar and changes his mood all the time.
Yeah, he did it first.
Yeah, he's the one changing his mind all the time.
Well, he kind of is. So therefore, we change our minds. That's how I choose to remember it. So
yeah, I'm Team Rennie. We chicks need to stick together on this.
that's
You
right.
liked him at the end of the last book, though, when he kicked ass.
I like that part of it, but you know, I really enjoyed when Will read him the riot act and's like, you know what, Uncle Flick was right about you, or you know, when he was like, yeah, tell him he was right, because he was like, you did this and you made me do this, and you know, I think sometimes, like, even though yes, Al-Anon is a good guy, right, and his mentality is always the greater good. Like I said, he's very abrasive, and it's, you know, he's not always having that sense of care. It's like, yeah, I knew this person was going to die, or I knew this person was going to turn into a tree, but sorry, it had to happen. And, you know, for him to be so unsympathetic makes him unlikable to some people. And I think Will said exactly what some of the readers were thinking. It's like, yeah, it's kind of messed up. So I appreciated Will's point of view in that. But, you know, so he goes a lot back and forth between being a likable and an unlikable character for me.
Yeah. What she said, and he's kind of like a lot of women, and I say this as a woman, they're great when they're doing things, but sometimes they just need to shut their mouths. It's when he talks, I want to smack him in the face. But when he's fighting, I'm fine. So the smugness, he gives me a vibe of Dumbledore, or rather, I guess it should say Dumbledore came after. Manipulative. It's the manipulative aspect of that I think that I don't like. And yeah, sorry, gosh, that was really something hateful I said about women, but
no, I don't think it was meant that way. It wasn't meant with malicious intent. It's just like, you know, hey, you know, women can be like this. So
yeah,
she said it and she meant it.
As another woman, I am not offended. So
you see, when I get delayed and tired with only about 5 hours proper sleep, It's like truth serum. The truth comes out. So this would
Did
be
you
the time
turn
to
into
ask
a
me.
Karen?
Oh gosh, Luffy's God says too much Al-Anon hate here. I'm team Al-Anon now. Haters.
You're just hating on him because you're racist.
That's right.
Against druids?
Yeah, damn right. I'm
he
racist
wears
against druids.
he wears black, so you're projecting.
Oh, for
If you guys turn vegan, it's gonna fix everything.
gosh. Meanwhile, Black Pill Timon, Team Americans, mini marshmallows on coffee or hot cocoa, yay or nay? Hot cocoa, not coffee.
Agree
Yeah.
with Jacob.
Drink hot
Also,
cocoa and not coffee.
Well, no, with marshmallows, cocoa, yes, coffee, no for me. And he
Yeah.
reminded me I'm out of marshmallows because we drink a lot of hot chocolate in this house. So,
especially when it gets cold.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what. Meanwhile, and also other chat that's been going on. Apparently, there's going to be a lot of shooting, but good shooting after this. So there's going to be steak and guns in
That's
the
right.
in the Rennie household.
It's going to be a Texas day.
It's like it's a
Texan
Texas
day.
family day, except
That's right.
you know whenever
Well, just remember to scream. It's coming right for you.
That's right.
Well, if and when the inevitable time comes where we're going to have a little reunion or something, I'm just warning you now. Keep a gun within 50 feet of me because I am so clumsy. I mean, it just I don't touch guns because I drop everything, and you don't want me dropping a gun. That would be
No, the only time they leave the house is when we go to the range. So.
Oh yeah, but even in the range, I'm dangerous, so I just don't touch. I look. it's like tie my hands behind my back because I'm clumsy. I'm unlike Alec Baldwin. I know not to touch a gun when I don't know what I'm doing. I look. He's got says maybe. I still said he did on purpose. Maybe no one ever gave Al-Anon a chance. You don't know him. Team Al-Anon. Oh my gosh. We're terrible people, apparently, Ready?
Well, he's a minority. There's only one druid.
Is there, though? Wouldn't the kids count as druids because they can manipulate magic?
Oh, that's a good one.
No, definitely not.
Oh, okay.
They would be limited magic users. A druid is a historian that has been trained as a druid, basically like a Jedi.
Okay. As the words came out of my mouth, I realized how ignorant that sounded. Yes, I know that.
Yeah, Jer and Bryn are basically Broom Boy from The Last Jedi.
Oh, hey, don't insult Jared and Bryn because they're kind of cool. Gosh, you guys are making me hungry. Now talking about the Olive Garden. Hot cocoa, not coffee. Karen Martin. Oh my gosh. I've got a bunch of horrible people today.
Holy
the chat's
crap,
turning.
though. The name is actually has a nice ring to it.
Oh, shit. Do you realize Keck now Seek is never, ever going to let this go? Like when I'm in a bad mood, it's like, oh, is this Teresa Martin or Karen Martin? That's my alter ego. That's like Jekyll and Hyde. Not so much the rose, but the thorn.
There you go. That's fair.
Yeah. Actually, that's a slogan. I'm going to steal it and not give you credit. And wow, they're like Matt G. Rennie L is so nice. When I get shitty service, I am like, you better not tip that CNUT. Or
is that supposed to say cunt?
Yeah, but you can get demonetized if that word's in your chat.
So he rearranged the letters deliberately.
Yes.
No,
I was wondering what he meant.
Oh my gosh! Well, it's a good thing I'm not monetized yet.
Yeah, for when you do.
Well, yeah, when things like that get demonetized, isn't that like it just means like the stream gets demonetized, not like your whole channel? you can say.
Oh yeah,
Well,
definitely.
it has to be because otherwise all the Australians wouldn't have a YouTube channel.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah.
They just don't get any money for it. Or she was really nice, tip her well. We are usually on the same page. In Australia, you have to get $20 minimum per hour. Yeah, and or the gratuity is in the check, the
Well,
whatever the
it's
pay.
weird, right? Like if you
Yeah.
go to other countries, even talking to Brown and the guys, like they were telling me, tips are not something that typically happens over there, but they pay their staff well enough as to here, where opposed to here, where people are getting paid $2 an hour to serve you, and it's like, well, that's just crap not to tip the person unless they're just the world's worst server. So
The
it's a little
tip
different.
is not a thing here either. Well, it's an optional thing. There's a tip
Mm-hmm.
jar, but
Yeah.
yeah, you're not required to give anyone a tip for doing their job.
Yeah.
Well, it's not required, but it's really crappy if you don't do it because like I was saying, they get paid like less than like federal minimum wage. And it's
Yeah.
just not right to leave a restaurant where somebody like bent over backwards taking care of you for that minimal amount of pay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's something for another day because it's very interesting because I'm also pro the tip system because when I would bartend, you came out with a crap load more money. Even if I got $20 an hour, I got more money with the tip system.
Oh wow.
I used to, well, okay, when you're a lady and I didn't even, I would wear like one of those little suit things because I worked in suites at the racetrack. And these really rich dudes, I guess they weren't used to seeing a woman or something. I don't know. They sure were. They were drinking and throwing $10 bills in my thing, and it was great. Yes, we
In
are. We
your
are, Steve.
in your thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I will make a bloody good bird. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Yeah. We'll get back to this because this is something I think is kind of fascinating for free for all. And so, meanwhile, where there in the world where there is no tips or Olive Gardens or anything else, we have the shade. And he said, "Don't move." I thought that was kind of cool because it reminded me a little bit of that foreboding you'll get where they say, like in Indiana Jones, when he's like, "Marion, don't look at it." So it's like, oh fuck my life.
I
My
don't remember that
coffee.
line.
Yeah, my coffee. I'm gonna have to throw out my coffee machine. It's a crisis. But in any case, yeah, I'm a fucking crisis. But in any case, so he says, "Don't move," and then he goes off, and I thought it was kind of moving. He's like, "Father," and it's like, "Oh yeah, this is Daddy," and obviously he sees something very disturbing, and there's even tears in the shade of Bremen. And then meanwhile the kids are all, "What's going on?" And the druid falls down, right? He gets attacked. Does he get attacked? Is that what happens? I forget what makes him fall down. He says, "I told."
No, he does something to the sword first.
Yes.
Oh no, not yet. I haven't gotten there yet. I know what you're talking about because the sword is awesome. Because Elenon kind of falls down, and something happens, and then they run to him, and they're like, "Elenon!" And he's like, "I told you not to move, you dumb shh." And then
you're talking about after you talk to Bremen.
Yeah, after you talk to Bremen. Yeah, we're not there yet, Steve. And the only reason I was a little bit harsh there because I really loved it, and I really want to dig into that. But before we dig into that, there is a prophecy thing. Time slips away from us, real girl. That, like, what did he told you? Time slips away from us that we are hunted on all sides, and that it shall be thus until the end. That end is determined, but he will not tell me what it is. He will only tell me this: that it will come, that you will see it, and that for our cars you are both savior and destroyer. And she's like, "What does that mean?" He says, "I don't know." So we've got another friggin' prophecy. But this time it's his dad, so it must run in the family to be vague.
Yeah.
I suspect it's one of those things that's going to become very clear at either maybe at the end or something, that it's like almost a riddle.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And you took the word out of my mouth. I was thinking like his dad or Bremen as a shade speaks in riddles a lot. So luckily Al-Anon can sort them out. But for us as a reader, sometimes like, wait, what?
He was not a Riddler-ish person when he was alive, because the prequel book is about Bremen,
Oh.
him and Gerald Shannara.
Yeah.
Worth a read.
Yes. No. Well, you heard it here first. And then he was told something else. Nothing. He was Paranor is in the hand of Mordrace. And we got to go there. And she's like, what? You don't expect this to stop this, do it? It's like, there is no one else. Just how many of them are there? 12 rays, a company of gnomes. And then this is where I actually kind of really related to Al-Anon and was almost team Al-Anon, where Rome just challenged him, and it wasn't even a big challenge, but Al-Anon lost it, and he like roars like, okay, you've done nothing but doubt me, and you've done this, and you've done that, and you suck. And he says, you just decided against me, and Roan's like, I am decided for Bryn. Then stand with her, you shall, he thundered. And then this is the part. This is what you were referring. And then he goes and he grabs the sword, and he's like, come with me. And they're like, oh shit, what's he gonna do? And dip the blade as the sword into the waters, Prince of Leah. And Rhea's like kind of going, and then he snaps at him, do as I say. And then he sticks it in, and it like starts to boil. And then as it's boiling, the waters of the hatch of the clung to its surface, swirling as if it were alive. Now stand fast, Prince of Leah. And then blue fire spurted out. I thought this was badass. And it's glinting. And now this sword is clean, a polished and glistening black. The edges hard and true. Look closely, Prince of Leah. And light is swirling. It is the magic of life and death mixed as one. It is now power that belongs to you, Highlander. It becomes your responsibility. You are as much Bryn Omsford's protector as I. You have as much power as I. This sword shall give it to you. And you will be her protector. You are the shield that now stands before her. And of course, Bryn tries to go, this is fair, and on what right have you? And she never finished because there was a sudden terrifying explosion and she was lifted off her feet. And then this is the big ass attack to which you were referring, Stig. Now, I want to talk about, Stig, I'm going to throw this to you, how badass that was and how significant it was, this magic that Al-Anon is giving to Roan.
Yeah, he basically turns the Sword of Lee into a kick-ass magic weapon that can also protect. So, a lightsaber almost.
Yeah. And the idea of him being like a shield, metaphorically and literally. I just thought that was beautiful, Reddy. I don't know about you.
Oh, I thought it was great because, so he's very much like his, is it his grandfather, his great grandfather? Where remember Minion Lee was very much like, he would clap back at Al-Anon. He wouldn't take any crap, and. Mm-hmm. And I believe Roan is very much like him in that aspect. And he's like, you know what? You haven't done much to protect her. I would do. And I think Al-Anon challenged, would you literally or would you seriously do anything to protect her? I know I'm paraphrasing here. And he said, yes. He's like, well, then come here. I'm going to show you what you can do. And I thought that was pretty cool. So I liked it.
Yeah. And I also liked the way he also just lost its temper.
Yeah. Roan hadn't. He didn't say anything particularly bad at that moment, but it was like the 50th time he had nagged. You know, so
Yeah.
and then boom, explosion, Mordrate's,
Yeah.
shooting fire at Al-Anon.
Well, it was
Well,
weird
no.
because the way that it happened, right? Like, wasn't Al-Anon asleep and he was subconsciously protecting himself?
No,
Wait, are you talking about the attack?
Yeah. Sorry, I thought that's what Steve meant.
no,
No, we're not.
he was
No.
he was just he was there, and then boom, fireball thing,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
because they were heading out of the Valley of Shale, or whatever it was,
Oh,
and
yes.
he's a bit ahead of them, and boom,
Mhm.
and then Roan steps in and holds the sword up and basically forms a barrier between Al-Anon and the attack, and probably saves Al-Anon.
Oh, yeah. No, he definitely saved Al-Anon.
And that
See,
was
I thought
cool.
that
And
was
so,
subconscious. Sorry, Teresa.
oh no, it and I thought, yeah, and so he got his first chance to not only did he get this new magic, but then he got to demonstrate it.
Yeah, like immediately after they did that stuff.
Hmm. And I love the way he just was like, "Holy crap, what do I have?" Like he's afraid of it. So serves him right for nagging one time too many. So all naggers out there, beware.
You should have just tossed the bitch into the water. Just
Well,
scruffed him like a kitten and dragged him over and tossed him in.
oh shit. Well, that's a little harsh.
Jeez.
I'm not sure it required the death sentence, but that's one way to shut up someone's bitching and complaining. It's like, you fine, here, now we're equal. Now shut the f up. I loved it. I loved it. Yeah. And let's see. I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead because it does kind of run together, because in the middle of that, we had some stuff with
Well,
Jared.
they killed the Wardwraith though.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm
'Cause it
saying. Is
turns to
like
ash.
it interrupts the action to bring us back to Garrett Jarrett. So I'm just turning my next notes, because then suddenly a Mordwraith. So this is the first time we actually see the Mordwraith.
No,
And
we just had one fry the head of Spilk.
yeah, let me make that clear. Rather, the characters like Rowan and what's her face, and then
Oh yeah. The first time they see them, yeah.
yeah, I misspoke. I'm sorry. Yeah, I should warn everyone. This stream's coming with a warning. Brain is mush. Devil howls Rowan, and then that's when he's yelling Leah, Leah, or Lee, like it's like it's like yelling Sparta.
Which is actually what Menion used to shout as well.
Mm-hmm. Like a battle cry for home, for country, for I don't know, something else. So okay, and then Al-Anon's all, the power really truly does belong to you. It was meant to be. So I thought that was pretty cool. Then they realize that they've killed the last of the Mordrace. Bryn has accepted that this dude's going to be his shield. Roan rather, has this new power for himself. And they moved on. So meanwhile, the part that was in the middle of that, there was a log dweller that the other guys ran across, a log dweller, and Gareth Jax, or was it the gnome that actually, no, Garrett Jax thrust the black staff into the creature's gaping So they had a monster moment, which really did remind me of a D&D thing, like when the creature comes out and then everyone has to roll and fight. That it was a body scaled, and I'm not sure that there was anything very particularly significant about that attack, except for the fact that they they were just showing us the different creatures and saving each other's lives, like team building. Rennie, that's what I was thinking.
Well,
Yeah.
it was in the same area where Flick and Menyon and Shay got attacked by a similar creature in book one.
It was, or it wasn't.
It was.
Oh, it was, okay, because you broke
Yeah, I
up.
agree.
Okay, yeah, so we got that, but like I was saying to Rennie, I mean, was team building. That's what I saw it as. I don't know.
Yeah. And Slanter, for the second time, put himself between Danger and Jer.
Okay.
Because he did that when Garrett Jax was, killing the gnomes.
Mhm.
And one of them was going for Jer, which Spilk was going for Jer, and Slanter stood in front of Jer, drawing a dagger, protecting him. This was the second time Slanter did this.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Well, there we go. Yeah, and it was cool. It was cool. So
And Jack killed the. Well, he didn't kill the monster, but he fucked it up pretty fast.
yes, I thought that was fun. He rolled
And
like
he doesn't have, he
an
doesn't have a
18.
staff anymore now, though. I think
Yeah.
it broke. So yeah, but he has his short sword.
Yeah, I always like, everyone likes a bunch of creatures. They're always fun. So I think a lot actually really happened. There was like a leap forward, especially for Roan. This was his superhero moment, and some cool stuff with Al-Anon. I was gonna say, any final thoughts before we move on, Rennie?
No, not really. It's a very impactful chapter, which I really liked and enjoyed. A very fun chapter for me. I'm gonna need to reread that one again because I could swear that it said something about Al-Anon not even being conscious at the time that he started defending himself. So it sounded like it was just like a reflex action for whatever the Mordwraith was attacking him with. And I thought it was really cool that Roan got to save the day in that one. So it shows that Al-Anon was being 100% honest about this magic that he infused a sword with, making him a really good protector. So I really enjoyed that.
A lot of stuff that happens in this book has an effect later on in other books.
Mhm.
So that sword is important now
Mhm.
after
Okay.
this.
Yeah. And let me vindicate you, Rennie. I've just looked here and it says Al-Anon was alive now only through instinct. So yeah, he had like, so if a druid could have magic reflexes, that's what it was.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
but
Because I was,
he wasn't asleep when the attack hit.
but it just sounded like he was like not fully conscious, and he just reacted out of instinct, or his body did, or you know what I
Oh
mean? It
yeah,
just,
yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. So that's
De-
what I was
like
getting
a
out of that.
defensive training kicking in almost.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, which is kind of cool because, he could have been just taking like a light nap or dozing, and then just boom, he could feel the attack and his body just took over. I just
Yeah.
thought that was a really neat reflex to have.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we move on to chapter 10. Again, we are just rolling. Things are getting more intense and more intense. We're back to Jer and Garrett Jax. They are going to the Mist Marsh and the Oak. I'm sorry, in the Oaks, the Battlefield Lowlands, and the dun 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 Silver River. I've heard of that before, and I'm thinking, okay, I know what's gonna happen.
It's like, I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Okay. But right before that happens, we have now trademark TM Terry Brooks, when everyone pauses to have a moment where let's talk about what's going on or some significant character things. So Jer and the weapons master talk, and he goes, "Why did you save me back with the gnomes?" And Garrett is like, "Yeah, I did go my own way. It's like my way happened to be your way." He's like, "But why?" He's like, "I don't know. I just did." And we're going to see a little bit later a theory that Jared's going to have about that. He also said, "They were frightened of you, the gnomes. That intrigued me. I wanted to know what was going on." And then Jared blurts it out. "They were frightened of my magic." It's like, hmm. And I just like the way, he goes, "Would you like to see how it works?" And Garrett Jackson's like, "Yeah, like maybe later." I just thought that was great.
How he was so nonchalant about it. It's like, yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like
maybe
that
you're
too.
not so friggin' awesome or more than you think you are.
Yeah.
And but Garrett makes a good point. He says this one, the gnome, was willing to place himself in danger twice for your sake. That makes him worth saving. Besides, you like him and you don't want it to happen to him. He's like, yeah. So they had some
He actually,
bonding and some discussion.
yeah, and
Yes,
he's giving the gnome credit too, even
mm-hmm.
though he doesn't seem to like the gnome that much.
No.
Well, and I think it's one of those things where he's like, just because he's a gnome, I'm not going to judge him on the fact that he's a gnome and just say he's a bad person because that's what he is, So I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't know. I just love it. But I must say that Luffy is being vindicated, apparently. Surprise, Alamon is a man. Justice for Elanon. Team Elanon, yeah. And meanwhile, that well said. As they're all, after they have that bonding thing and as all those comments that you all were just saying, they go to sleep. And yes, I was not wrong. It is the Silver River Man.
Well, didn't Slanter fuck off though?
Oh, yes. But you see, this was like part of the dream. Oh yeah, they weren't sure that he had fucked off. He hadn't come back yet. We learned later that he had fucked off. He was starting to suspect it, and it was like the dream. Jer
Yeah, but
Umford, his
Slanter's awake at night, away from the others, and he's thinking of leaving, right?
yeah, he was okay. Yes, you're right. We actually do get a point of view from him. It's like I have no business being here. Yeah, so he does. He makes a decision to do that. Jira and the other dude don't know that yet. Correct. And then he's asleep, and out comes the Silver River Man. He's like, "Hello. Dreams can be visions of what to come, and dreams can be warnings of what we must beware. Do you know me, Jer? Let your memory tell you." And he's like, "You are king of the Silver River." He's like, "Why, yes. Yes, I am." And this is the thing. Was he completely asleep or was he awake? Because he's still looking over and looking at Garrett Jax, who's asleep.
Well, it's kind of like a trance, isn't it? Because in previous books, when I think it was when Will or something encountered him, then I think he saw Amberly sleeping, but she had her own dream about him too, so she probably saw Will sleeping, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
And I don't remember Will having any sort of dialogue with him. It was just kind of like a quick glance compared to what Jer experiences with him.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think Will talked to him. No, Amberly talked to the
Yeah.
and Shay and Flick barely did. They just saw something.
Yeah.
That was leading away the skull bearers.
Yeah. You think it's because in this case, Jer, since he's more magical than the other ones were, because he was like born of the magic, while they just had the stones, like as a tool, more as a tool. That they're a little more on that spiritual plane.
I feel like it's part of it, But I feel like the other part of it is that, you know, of course, all the information he tells Jerry, he's kind of desperate, and he needs to explain it to him because he's, you know, he's so young that it's like, I really need to let him know what needs to happen. Like this is dire, you know?
Also, the King of the Silver River directly needs help from him.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
The other
Yeah, he
times it
says,
was just offering advice or whatever. In this case, he's giving a quest and he's taking something away.
Well, he made a
uh
trade.
huh. Yeah. Well, he says, yeah, the Silver River has been poisoned. And then, of course, I'm like, oh, crap. As you said they've got another quest now. And I'm like, no, we've got two quests. This is getting out of hand. Now there's two
Actually,
of them.
three. There's three
Three.
because Bren needs to go and destroy the book.
Mm-hmm.
Jer has to get there before her and save her. Otherwise, she will fuck it up. And now there's the third quest.
Well, I stand corrected. You're right. We're fucked. We got three to keep track of, but I
It would have
like the
been
way they
fun
spell.
if it's like Skyrim, just get 10 quests and then 3 more. Just drown the guy in quests.
You know. Oh my gosh! And then you have to toggle them. See, at least I don't know if they have the option of toggling the quests they want to do.
You have the King of the Silver River explaining to Jer how the menu system in the game works.
Nice. Well, and so meanwhile, the Silver River guy is like, okay, well, I'm gonna give you some stuff, but we're gonna trade. Give me the Elfstones. I started to get suspicious at this point. Did Jer?
Yeah, that was a little
The,
like, wait, what? Why are you asking for that? That's weird.
mm-hmm. And that's when I was thinking maybe it's like a bad spirit taking the form of the silver eye. Like, it's a trap. But it turns out it wasn't. He gives them the stones. You show character and judgment worthy of your forebears, says the old man. It is for these qualities that I chose you, and that will sustain you. So he makes a trade. He takes the stones, and then he gives him silver dust. Life restored to the waters of the Silver River. You must carry it to Heaven's Well and scatter it on the poisoned waters. Do that, and the river will be clean again. Then you will find a way to get your sister back to herself. She will lose herself, says the King of the Silver River. Yours is the voice that will help her find the pathway back. And then he goes, we are now bound. And he places the silver dust into him. Trust has been exchanged. And that's how it can be with magic. And he goes, 3 magics I give you. First, this. And it is for the mind a vision crystal, and it will show you the face of your sister. For the body, strength to see you through your journey. And that is referring to Garrett Jath. Where a touch of the magic then to each, and it begins and ends here. So Garrett, when your greatest needs greatest, he shall always come. He shall be your protector. And then for the heart, child, one final magic, a wish that will serve you best. One time only, you will call upon the wish song, and it will give you not illusion but reality. I thought that sounded pretty. That's pretty cool. That's gonna be fun. So use it when you stand at Heaven's Well. But how am I to use it? He says, I cannot tell you how. When you have thrown the silver dust into the Heaven's Well and waters are clear, throw the vision crystal afterwards, and you will find your answer there. You must reach the well. You must be there. And I'm thinking, I was just waiting for him to say, I hope you're taking notes, because I swear if you forget this, you're screwed. And I was getting confused. It's like, and he says, you shall be true. Speak the words, Jer. And he goes, I shall be true. You most are all are a part of me, hear the young man say. Child of life, the magic makes you so. And then he disappears. Sleep, child.
And the elf stones being taken away will come back in later books
Okay.
because there's a reason.
Oh,
So it's very cool how things carry over.
Yeah. Well, and that's good planning. That's good world building. That's not just skipping around in the wind. Hey, Snort Poopus. Speaking, waves of paw from his iceberg. Yeah, this was info dumping, and it was a game changer, just as we've been saying. But we also have the recipe for what to do properly. Hi, Windology. So we shall see. So, anything else before we move on to chapter 11, Rennie?
I really enjoyed this chapter. I thought it was nice to actually have a good interaction with the Silver King of the Silver River. I thought it was cool that he gave him that stone. He gave him the one time I don't want to call it get out of jail free card, but the one time upgrade for his wish song, and then to have the dust as well. But the coolest part for me was saying that Garrett Jax will always, be there to protect him as long as he needs him. That was really cool.
Yay.
So you have to wonder, did he bring Garrett Jax to him, or, was that just coincidence? And now that he's there, he should always, be his protector. I don't know, but it's still a really cool thing to kind of deliberate.
Also, Jer had, contact with the king of the Silver River, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the others did too. We don't know.
Are we going to find out?
They might say that they didn't, but maybe they did. Because they don't want to believe it, or maybe they got bad info,
Or maybe they're like, I don't want to sound crazy and say that this mythical old man came and talked to me,
Yeah. or maybe one of them was like, yeah, you're going to die soon, or something like that.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. No, that makes complete sense. That's the kind of knowledge you don't want to have. Like, if I'm going to get hit by a bus or something next week, I don't want to know. I just want to be chilling. Okay. Well, let's move on to chapter 11. And hello, everyone coming in. I do see you. Thank you for showing up here at Miss Martin Muses. Like, share, and subscribe, because we are most of the time happy people, except when we're grumpy. But I think we're actually in a relatively good mood today. I'm just a little bit, we're happy people. Actually, we're always happy. It's just the rest of the planet that, at least I hate. I'll speak for myself, but I digress. The King of the Silver River, was it a dream? There was no vision crystal. When he fell asleep, it had been in his hands. He felt about the ground for it. So he starts feeling over, where is it? And Garrett Jax goes, looking for something? He's like, no, I was just... And then he saw the gleam of metal against his chest where the tunic opened in front. And he looked down. It was a silver chain. So they woke up with a chain around his neck. It's like, you now have been gifted with a necklace.
It's like, maybe it was real.
Mm-hmm. And they're like, yeah. And that's when he says, yeah, the gnome's gone. He effed off. And he said, did Garrett Jax know all of this? Obviously, the old man hadn't come to the Weston weapons master last night. So he's wondering if there was some sort of subliminal thing going on because Garrett rather isn't as maybe attuned or directly responsible to it, that it just wasn't something that he consciously made. And then meanwhile, boom, Slanter shows up out of nowhere. They're like, oh, we were wondering where you are. And he's like, oh, nothing. I was just, too hot by the fire. And then he goes, I don't have to account for you, boy. What difference does it do? I'm here now. And then that's when Jer realizes, okay, it really was. The old man did get to them, whether explicitly or implicitly. And that was why Garrett Jax felt kind of compelled to save Jer when he saw him. And yeah, okay. So I thought that was kind of cool that they were meant to be together. Kind of not exactly the way it was in Lord of the Rings when Gandalf is all, you were meant to find the ring, you were meant to do this, and isn't that a comfort? Well, it was a bit of a comfort to me.
Yeah, me as well. And you know, I don't remember touching on this too much, but when Slanter was walking away, he was very conflicted when he was trying to, you know, run off and leave the other two behind.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I don't even know what I'm doing here, and he kept like stopping. It's like, what am I doing? I need to just leave, you know, kind of thing. And I think whether he likes it or not, there's something about Jer that makes him feel very protective of Jer. And I think it's really sweet, even though he's supposed to be this grumpy old gnome, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Even though he doesn't want to admit it, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I know. Well, now we know, you know, again, as I said, there's a higher power at work and all myths and all things. When someone gets a big quest, they're always like, why me? I didn't ask for this. And then Jer says, okay, F it. I'm just going to lay it all out. I'm just going to do it. So he goes, I've got something to tell you. And he just told them everything. He said he had not intended for this to be so, but boom. He told about Bryn. He told about Lee. He told about the Mailford, the King of the Silver River, everything. And then Garrett just goes, so I'm supposed to be your protector. He said you would be. What if I want to decide otherwise? He goes, I don't know. And then Slanter goes, I've heard some wild tales, but this is the wildest it has ever been my misfortune to suffer through.
Oh.
I loved that. It's like, well, believe it or not, it's the truth. And so then Garrett had a good idea. He said, let's put the magic to the test. Because at first when he got out the silver dust, it just looked like sand. So they decided, okay, let's test it. So he's like, let me, see my sister. And sure enough, boom. And they can all see the sister. And then I think that kind of convinces them. He's like, now do you believe me? And then Slanter, I love it. He didn't answer whether he believed him or not. He's like, I'm not going to Anar. He's like, I know what this is going to be. He's like, I need you. He's like, you don't need me with magic like that. Just sing your way. And then he goes, then I'll go alone, says Jer. And Garrett's like, no need for that quite yet. First, we'll see you safely to Coalhaven, the gnome and me. Then we can tell the dwarves this story of yours. So it is. It's like there's something compelling them more and more, that every time Jer and Slanter try to get out of it, what is it? Every time I think I'm out, they keep pulling me back in.
That's right.
Yeah, I thought that was great. And then that's basically how that chapter ends with them. Whoosh. So this is where I'm just liking it. You know what I mean? I'm just really wanting to see what's happening. I'm really liking the characters, and I want to see them. I want to see what's going to happen and how they're going to bring this all to a conclusion. So before we go into chapter 12, I know we've kind of gone through a lot of this. Anything else either of you want to throw in?
No, not really. Just good.
Yeah, okay.
Good
Yeah, I think it's
character
been covered.
chapter.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, I felt like not just good. I think that we jumped ahead light years. We learned a lot. They learned a lot, and they're all on the same page. Whether, like, if you're like Slanter and you don't want to maybe be a part of it, and you're skeptical, and it's like, no way I'm going there. It's like they leveled up. Is that, they uncovered the scroll that told them what their next purpose was. Oh my gosh, Tyron says, every time I find some dust or powder, I feel inclined to test it too, like cops did in the 80s.
Oh dear.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. All right. So now we're going to go on to chapter 12. We're back to, for the better part of 3 days, Bryn, Omsford, and Roan Lee rode north with Alanon toward the keep of Palinor. I always want to say, meanwhile. And so they're riding up ahead. This was really, really cool when they reached the place. And Bryn, she just was overcome with a really horrible premonition of impending disaster. She's like, it must be the wraith. And she kept saying, are you sure there's not more or something? And she just couldn't shake this off. And she kept thinking of the Shade of Bremen, the Valley of Shade, and everything that had passed between them. And then this is something she's thinking of, and I'm like, when did this happen? It must have been going on all along. She goes, Roan Lee loved her. It was unspoken between them, perhaps, but it was there. So, I mean, these people started off as kids and as friends, and apparently grew into love. So it's not like they're going to hook up. It's just, it's already there. That's what I learned, Rennie. And I'm, because I'm a romance watcher. I'm like, when did that happen? But that made sense to me.
I feel like it was kind of semi-implied here and there, but they just didn't really touch on it. Maybe because of the age of the characters. I don't know. But I do believe that, there was something more than just friendship between Roan and Bryn. So at least we got confirmation.
Yeah. And you made a good point, even though I think at this point it hasn't even really been spoken. It's just not, it's almost like it's taken for granted.
Yeah, exactly. Until it's too late or they're in danger.
Exactly. And then, like, I must tell you, I love you. And well, maybe, hopefully not that bad. But meanwhile, Rowan is like, I'm the man. And he's like, not even the druid frights me anymore. I'm ready to take it on, all of it. But she kept having this premonition. I thought this was really cool when it turns out what the premonition was going to be. I thought it was going to be something awful was going to happen to them, but rather something awful was going to happen, if you will, to Paranor and the Mord race within. Because as they enter Paranor, and he's like, this is the last night that you're actually going to see this place. This is like the last night for it. And I'm just going to move right into chapter 13 because it doesn't really stop there. It's just like, okay, now we're here. And I almost feel like this should be one chapter, maybe, but we should have just had a little break. So they go into the same area where we had visited before in the other books. And I just really enjoyed all of the descriptions. But what's different here is heat seared their faces, because once the Mord Wraith people came in, they restarted all of the furnaces and everything that had been dormant since the Warlock Lord. And so they go into this, and I think they got some information, and I'm trying to figure out here, because this was like the last chapter that we read. They would go through a maze of tunnels, and and then I'm looking at my notes here that Alanon goes to his big ass book and he gets some information from them. And I'm trying to think here. This was the Tower of the Keep that had guarded all of the information, and then a mist thing happened. And there were gnome hunters everywhere. Now, what's up with this mist? I mean, maybe my brain cells just weren't grasping what was happening here.
Maybe you missed it.
Ha!
Oh my gosh. But it's like there's this mist shows up and then all these rays and red fire is well, they're shooting the red fire. So were they traveling on the mist or I just don't know.
No, it was just misty.
Really? Okay, so I was reading too much into that.
See, I
Think
thought
so.
the mist was magical, like maybe a protection of the fortress or whatnot, because especially with what happens at the end of the chapter, I kind of thought
Mm.
maybe it was part
Oh,
of.
the end of the chapter mist is something else. That's dangerous.
Okay.
Like, touch it, you die.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was so it started off as okay mist and then we got the mist. And once
Okay.
again we got to see Rowan kicking ass and then Elrond said, "Oh, it begins." So he knew what was coming. And then Bryn's like, "Ah, the mist." And they made a run for it. And the screams followed after. Alnon says, "It is finished. The castle of the druids had vanished." And then Alanon says, "Thus it was written in the histories that it was foretold. Brenman Shade knew the truth. Older than the time, the keep was the magic conceived to close her away. Now she is gone, drawn back into the stone of the magic, and with it all those who were trapped inside. So it ends. Paranor is lost." And all those trapped inside all the rays and the gnomes and whatever that was in there. And then Bren's like, "But they were alive. But they were alive." Rather, Bren felt a fierce determination crushing through her, brushing aside the druid's sober tone. The premonition had been wrong, and they were alive, all of them. So I thought that was badass. That the actual premonition she was getting was not what was going to happen to them, but happen to the bad guys. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool too, because it made it sound like, okay, well, if they hit a certain point or if something starts happening while they're in there, they're going to die, but it wasn't them. So,
Yes. And then, like, a look of understanding passed between the two of them. But it was pretty horrible what happened. I mean, they were bad guys, so they had it coming, but definitely the power was something that I guess had been left behind by just like the power of the building or because he talked about it like it was Bremen Shade, yeah, like it was alive, the castle of the druids. It was
It's
just
like the spirit of the castle, kind of.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like how it was designed to self-destruct when you hit those certain traps and stuff. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, earlier when they visited the Hades horn in the Vale of Shale, we were told that that's where Alanon goes when he has his sleep.
Oh.
It's where he sleeps between the books.
Oh. That one passed me. I didn't put that down in my notes. Well, that's cool. So now we know his secret hideaway.
Yeah.
And in that stupid TV show, didn't they show it, but it was really lame?
It was a cave on the beach, which was sealed, and there was snow inside during summer.
Yeah.
And that was Jon Favreau, the guy they think is going to save Star Wars. And then the Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett start having the same issues as the Shannara show.
Yeah. Well, fool me 10 times, I guess. Shame on me.
Yeah.
But in any case, so now we have reached the end of it. We have made. I felt like we went light years forward in this, even compared to the first book, probably the first sections, even with all of the world building and everything. It was nothing compared with what we got experienced in this. I felt like it was almost like a novel within a novel. I don't know about you. I'm going to go ahead and throw it to Stieg first. Some general ideas of the chapters we've just read or anything up to this point.
Well, a lot of important chapters today, plot wise and character wise. and
Mhm.
a hell of a lot of setups, not only for the
Yeah.
rest of the book, but for future books as well. I think Terry Brooks does that quite often. He'll add some stuff that sets up books later, like Will
Mhm.
using the elf stones.
Yeah.
That one set up this book. So he basically
Yeah.
leaves little hooks that he can follow if he should write more books, right?
Yeah.
And it keeps the fans wanting another book.
Mm-hmm. It's a great strategy. Yeah. I just really enjoyed so much everything that we saw Roan go through. I think that was probably one of my favorite parts. And Jer.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ready? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I just I'm with you on this, Teresa, where these chapters kind of kick it way far ahead. Like I was saying, and I think it was last week. Chapter 7 is when it really starts to get good, and it's like, oh, I don't want to put this down, and I want to stop reading this. And as you guys know, I always read them twice, and I'm glad that I do, being new to Terry Brooks, because I would have left a lot out in my brain. So it's kind of nice whenever it comes to remembering details and all that, but you also get to enjoy the chapters twice. So, Garrett Jax is really awesome. I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I really like Slanter, and I don't care what he says or what he pretends. I think he genuinely likes Jer, and he's very protective of Jer. And whether he wants to admit it to himself or not, there was something about the boy from the start that just kind of snagged at his heartstrings. I don't know if he feels like big brotherly towards him or whatnot, but for him to protect Jer against all the other gnomes really speaks out to his character. And I think just the mere stigma of being a gnome, he feels like he has to be like, I hate everybody else but gnomes, or I hate this kind of person or that kind of person, when actually I don't really think that he wants to. I don't think that his personality fits the gnome stigma, and I think it really causes a lot of inner conflict with him, and I think it makes him a very cool character.
He
Yeah.
basically has layers.
Yeah, like ogres. Sorry, that was a Shrek reference. I love Shrek. I'm sorry.
No. No, I love everything you just said. Jacob said I think Slanter is one of the healer gnomes. I'm not sure. Is that correct? I don't know.
I don't think so, because
No,
he was a tracker. So did he have time to learn healing when he was busy learning how to track? And he's really good at it.
no, he's not one of the stores because they're completely devoted to healing. Slanter's a track. He probably knows how to treat wounds from
Mhm.
having skills in the wilderness. But he's I think he was part of the same tribe that was fucking around with Shay and the others in the first book.
Mm.
But he basically went his own way for some reason, and he's been traveling most countries.
Yeah. Yeah, I just love the way he's just so badass with his tracking. I mean, if he was, you wouldn't want him to be on your trail. Let me put it that way. I mean, there would be nothing you could do to get away from him. He would always find you. He'd be a fantastic
Yeah,
stalker.
yeah, and he managed to track Al-Anon.
Yeah.
And in book 1, we're told that Al-Anon doesn't really leave tracks because Menyon and Balinor, I think it was, mentioned that.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. I'm there's not a character right now that I don't like. If I had to say one the least, it would be Bryn but not that she has anything she's done. I just feel like she has not yet had her moment.
Yeah,
Rowan's had his.
she hasn't done much yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen Jer kick ass. Sort of kick ass. Rather, he had his moment like with all the power and how he's been able to show them, and the fact that he's even able to survive. Because the way these chapters started off today, he was on his own little death march. It was hell, and just how exhausted he was, and why are you looking at me? Stop it, Slanter. Luffy's God said. Luffy's God says, it's been a while since I read the books, but I remember liking this one, and it sets up better things to come, like Steeg says. And wow, the MVP is Al-Non. Am I? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! We're never gonna get away from that, are we?
No, evidently not. And I don't want anybody to think that I don't like Al-Anon. I just, as a protagonist and a good guy, he's just not quite as likable as typically they are. But I think that's sometimes a good thing. The good guys aren't always likable. Doesn't make them bad. Just makes them not very likable. So, he does great things. It's just his personality isn't the best,
Yeah. I'd like though that he's aware that it's not. Even he knows he's an asshole, or not an asshole, but it's like, well, that's just not me. That's not. I'm a druid. I got bigger, better things. Well, not unlike parents, for example, good parents. They know, hey, I'm not here to be the good guy. I'm here to do what needs to be done. I get maybe some of those vibes from him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but for sure, Slanter love him, Garrett love him, Jer love him, Roan awesome, and I always love it when that Silver Mist River dude shows up. I always think that's just amazing. It's always fun.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty, well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this party because I've had one hell of a night. I'm having flashbacks to college, but at least you had fun when you had a night like I had last night. I have all the after effects without the fun. So I wanted to go ahead and thank everyone that showed up. As always, Jacob, thank you for being here. Luffy is God. Jacob Ironside, Rennie. Oh, well, yeah, you're here. Keck. We had Copa. I almost called him Copa Cabana. My gosh, Copa guy. Tyrone representing from Australia, Black Pill 2. Yeah, this is pretty amazing. We got people from Brazil, Ireland. We've got a Norwegian, I believe. Yes, Luffy is Norwegian. We've got you, and then we got Steeg. We're a very multi-world audience here. Windology. Yes, thank you for being here. Sort of Poopus. Oh, yeah, we've even got an iceberg represented. So let's see. Who else? Yeah, Luffy says, it's not what you say, but how you act that matters. I end the quote from Elanon. Okay, yeah, Team Elanon. All right. Yeah, good stuff. So, Rennie, what's coming up?
Other than same bat time and bat channel here next week, I'm not really sure. I know next month we will be doing Godfather 2 on Mr. Brown's channel. I just need to pick a Saturday. So, yeah, hopefully you will be there as well, madam.
Oh, hail yes.
And then I'm trying to convince them to do, I'm not a big Trekkie. You guys have to understand. My husband is, but I'm not. So I'm also trying to convince them to do Star Trek 4 because we did Star Trek 3 last week, and that's my favorite Star Trek film because even though I'm not a huge fan of it, my mom was, and she was very big on exposing us kids to it. So yeah, that's my favorite Star Trek movie of all time. So hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah. because I'm immature. You said I'm always a fan of exposing, and then you're like to the Star Trek. It's like, oh, okay, that kind of exposing. Well, I'll give you that. Out of Star Trek, 2, 3, and 4 are the best. I consider them together, like they're a trilogy. They go. Well, I think the middle one doesn't stand alone because of what happened previously, but they can stand alone, but they go together. So yes, so please stay tuned to Rennie and the Mr. Brown Alliance channel. Who actually we did docs last time. He actually is King Charles III and Steeg's father. So now you know. I forget how. Yeah, we let it slip. Sorry.
Steeg's daddy.
Yeah, Steeg's daddy. That's why you don't see him sometimes. He's got a lot of plans for this coronation, and hopefully, if he'll listen to me, he'll disown his spare.
Who,
and
me?
replace him with Steeg. What'd you say?
No,
Nope.
nothing.
All right, and so that's really all you have, Rennie. I don't think you're on anything else.
No, not really. You know, with life being as hectic as it is, I keep it as open, or keep my schedule as open as possible, as a just in case. Of course, pretty much if I get invited to anything Tolkien, I will do my best to be there as long as I'm awake. So
there you are.
You know.
Understood. Hey, that's the story of my life. Steeg, what's going on?
Cringe Factory on Morris channel next week, if I'm awake, because it starts pretty late. And this channel on Saturday.
Yay!
We're gonna do up through chapter 20, right?
That is correct. Oh, thank you for reminding me. Yes, we did determine that. So we are going to read chapter 14 through 20. So that counts as 6 total. So for those of you, that is your homework, and I'll try to remember to put that in the chat. Sort of poopus. Dump the spare and Mrs. Spare. Well, we if you want to hear some really petty hate about all that for 2 hours, me and Lady Toriel finally got together and just let the whole world know exactly how we feel about it. So if you feel like you need to do some hating, go there. This is what that's my current hatred right now, because the real stuff going on in the world is so depressing. I figure I'll just have petty hate. And Teresa will be... Oh, that is true. Yes, Jacob Ironside. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. It is a Princess Bride this Tuesday, and there's a stream. Thank you for putting that in there. We did the Close Encounters of the Third Kind last week, and that has led me to one of the videos I'm working on right now. It will not be ready for Wednesday's new video, but maybe the one after, the solfege and how they communicate in the meaning with the Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That it was all very, very technical and very definition. And apparently I'm the only one that was able to read the conversation that the alien and the dude had at the end. They had a cute little conversation with solfege. So that's what that video is going to be about. If you like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, streams. I currently don't have any planned live streams besides this one, but always stay tuned if there's going to be some daily musings, Miss Merton musings, midweek musings. I have prepared to go some talk about for live streams, gaslighting, for Teresa Travels, Blarney Castle in Ireland, and I'm going to be Catholic explaining exorcism, because apparently Nancy Pelosi doesn't know what one is. So, well, why not? Let's talk exorcism. So those are 3.
I think she believes exorcism is kind of like extracting a hammer from someone.
Well, let me give you a hint. Spoiler alert, it wasn't an exorcism.
Yeah, it was a sexorcism.
Oh, one of the best jokes I heard about that is, so that's the Catholic version of pray the gay way. It's like, no, but I do have some details about it because, of course, the diocese and everyone's like, no, no, no. There was no exorcism. No one knows anything about this for obvious reasons. It's like, yeah, once again, being an idiot, causing trouble for other people, for a variety of reasons. You can't just call up a priest and say, "Come and have an exorcism," and you can't really have one on your house either. That's a whole other story. So some Catholic explaining of that, and everyone needs to know some gaslighting or anything else that pops up that strikes our fancy. I'm going to be Catholic explaining probably the posthumous work of Benedict because that's kind of big. A lot of stuff, the scandals with the banks and all that he just said, I'm just publish it after I'm dead. I think Steve hit the nail on the. Oh no, no. I think Steve hit the nail on it. Yeah, actually, I think that's probably going to be my biggest.
That's rather blunt.
Very striking comment.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to say it.
Yeah, you just took a swing at it, didn't you?
That's right.
Oh no. They don't use a holy hammer in exorcisms. Jacob, quit giving away the content of my stream. Yes,
you know what though? Nancy kept, posing with the hammer when she was speaker. That was probably porn for her husband.
Oh my God.
She was grinning and holding up the hammer, knowing that her husband was watching TV. And it was basically a signal for what's going to happen when she comes home.
Gonna get the punishment?
Nancy Silverhammer.
No. Oh no! Ready? You're evil. I even highlighted
turn
it.
the silver brown, hubby.
That guy really pulled a Thor move. Oh gosh. I mean, and actually it is terrible that he got beaten so badly, but this is my deal. If they had just not been so weird about it all, I think that it was because they were so cryptic that the jokes are writing themselves. Paul had hammer issues. Oh no. He's had a bad year. But somehow he got out of that DUI. I wonder how.
You know what's kind of weird though, with the exorcism and stuff? Do they really want to pray to a carpenter? You'd think that would just add to the problem.
I got nothing. I literally got nothing.
Was Paul the hammer or the nail?
Oh, he got nailed.
Oh,
with the hammer. One size fits all. Or other one size fits Paul.
Oh.
Begging Paul.
Oh. Well,
Begging Markle.
Oh. Well, here's a little preview for you all who it'll be the liveliest Catholic explaining ever. But yeah, I even ran into some idiots on Twitter trying to explain to me. And I'm just like, do you know who I am? Don't you give me that. I know what I'm talking about. Black pill, need to go to the bakery. Oh my gosh, get something awesome. Tell us what you get. Send us a picture. Because
yeah, I want to see
we endorse
of that.
Yeah. We
Sorry.
endorse bakeries here. No, I was just gonna say we endorse bakeries here at Miss Martin Muses. Rennie and I shared the same favorite one, so French one.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you have a bakery you go to, Steve?
No,
No, no French bakery there.
no.
Okay.
You got to get on that, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, yeah. I'll sort you out. Okay. Well, have a good day, everyone. I gotta go because yes, this stream's going downhill fast. So have a great day. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great day, and be certain. Be certain.
Not to bend over for the hammer.
I'm going straight to hell.
If you want the hammer removed, pray to the carpenter.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Okay. I was gonna say something like magic or something, but all right. Good day. Oh my gosh.